Hi guys, I am Dr. Vivaswan Parekh and this is the Dancing Doctors. Welcome back to our channel. This is a follow-up video in the series of pediatrics. The first video, if you haven't seen it yet, it was on breastfeeding and types of feeding for a child from birth to 6 months of age. This is a follow-up about complementary feeding or weaning as it was known earlier. So you may ask, what is complementary feeding? So till the age of 6 months, a child needs only the mother's milk, and that is sufficient for its growth and immunity. But beyond 6 months of age, mother's milk is not sufficient in terms of nutrition, in terms of a lot of factors, and that is when the child needs to be introduced to complementary feeds. Now what complementary feeds includes and how it's to be done is what we are going to be talking about in this video. So stay on till the end to get all the knowledge, and if you haven't yet, then please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you are notified when we upload videos on pediatrics as well as dancing. Do check out our channel for other videos also. So when we talk about complementary feeding, there is a concept called as complete food as well as balanced food. Now a complete food is one that contains all proteins, carbohydrates, fats, minerals, vitamins, etc. Whereas a balanced food is the one that contains all these components in appropriate values. No food can be labeled as perfectly complete or balanced. Balanced food is what we need in our daily life, and this can be achieved by bringing together various foodstuffs from different categories such as cereals, pulses, fruits, vegetables, etc. So when should you start with complementary feeding? The ideal time to start is after 6 months of age, which is also called as a sensitive period, which on initiating food at this time, the child will always get better and better and be a better eater in the future. If we miss the sensitive period, we enter the critical period, where basically it is started by say around 8 or 9 months of age, and then there is a chance that the child will always be a poor eater of solid foods. The other reasons for starting complementary feeding at 6 months of age are that the child now can hold his or her head up and also has started developing mouthing, wherein they want to chew on things and the gums have started becoming hard, teeth might start erupting. Also, their chances of throwing solid foods out will reduce by this time. The intestines are mature now, so they can digest a lot of pulses and cereals. And as I already said, they enjoy biting, so that helps them accept foods better at this age. The next important factor that we consider is the frequency of feeding at this time. So when you begin, so at 6 months till the age of 9 months, try to give 2 to 3 meals per day and 2 to 3 tablespoons per meal. So that is 2 to 3 times 2 to 3 tablespoons. This can be continued till the age of 9 months. Beyond the age of 9 months till 1 year of age, we have to give 3 meals and 1 snack, and the meals should be somewhere around half a bowl, that is about 125 ml. Beyond the age of 1 year, we enter the stage of pot feeding, family pot feeding, where different foodstuffs now are introduced. So the frequency will be 3 meals, 3 to 4 meals in fact per day, with 1 or 2 snacks, and the child will usually have 3/4 to 1 bowl, that is about 250 ml per meal. So since I already mentioned, when we talk about family pot feeding is at the age of 1 year, the child and the family can have the same food. So basically the child sits with the parents, with the family while eating, can eat all the foods made at home, can eat directly from the parents' plate as well. Before we move on, if you are finding value in this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit the bell icon so you are notified every time a new video is uploaded. Leave in the comments below or send us an email on this email ID if you have any questions that are unanswered in any of my videos, and I will try to get back to each and every comment and email personally, and probably include that in my next video as well. Let's move on. So what types of foods should we introduce to the child? I already spoke about complete and balanced foods. So balanced foods is what we are looking at. Now it is basically made by combinations of cereals and pulses. So something like dal rice or khichdi is an example. It can be mashed of the consistency where while giving it does not pour as a liquid. It is thick enough to stay in the spoon while feeding the child. Obviously the consistency will vary as the child grows older and starts accepting better. Other options include fruits, that is mainly pulpy fruits, can be mashed and given, like bananas, mango, steamed apple or steamed pear. We can also start dry fruits, and many people advise giving nuts, but personally I feel nuts can be introduced after 1 or maybe even 2 years of age, because they have a tendency to cause certain allergies in certain patients. Although this is not very common in India, but why take a chance, right? Also do note, if you're giving dry fruits or nuts, they have to be completely grounded and mixed with food to be given to the child. Do not give whole nuts or even pieces. There's a chance of choking hazard for the child. And next we come to the concept of baby-led weaning. So this is a comparatively new concept in India. It's been followed for a very long time in other countries. Baby-led weaning is a messy process, but I think it's okay. It is a more sensitive process where the child is going to learn more about food and grow interest in their food. Here what we do is we let the child sit on a high chair at a table. Obviously this has to be practiced once the child has developed a grasp where they are holding stuff and putting things in their mouth. This is called as mouthing. Happens more when they start teething also. So what they do is, you keep the food in front of the child. Keep separate options, not completely liquid or mashed foods. Here we can keep soft foods which can be easily mashed with a pinch of your fingers. Let the child pick up, throw, eat, make a mess of everything, but they will pick what they like and taste and eat. This is called as baby-led weaning. Obviously there is no harm in trying to promote it a little bit by getting the food closer to them if they are just playing around with it. So it is a very interactive session, so to say, between the child, the mother or the feeder and the food. Now the important question, what foods should you avoid in case of weaning or complementary feeding? The first point that I always tell my patients is avoid the 4 whites. 4 whites meaning animal milk or just milk in general. I'll talk more in detail about that. Maida, that is refined wheat flour, sugar and salt. So coming to milk, when we say avoid milk, I don't say don't give milk at all, but make sure that milk is given as a complementary food and not as a replacement food. Milk cannot replace other foods. It is not a complete food at all. Okay, it is so deficient in certain nutrients, especially iron, and leads to a lot of cases of iron deficiency anemia. Maida, for obvious reasons, it is a refined food. Please do avoid refined foods. Sugar can be avoided. You can in fact use jaggery instead if you want to make it sweet. In fact, it increases the calorie density of the food. I'll come to that in the future point. Salt. See, salt is something that you don't have to completely avoid, but where not required, don't use it. So I already spoke about processed foods, and you should avoid basically biscuits, breads, cakes, chocolates, all these sweet, sugary foods. Avoid tinned and canned foods. Avoid Tetra packs of juices which are full of sugar and full of preservatives. It is very less nutrient value. When we talk about fruits, the whole fruits are more nutritious as compared to broken down versions of it. So when I speak about broken down versions, the worst one is basically sieved out juice which has no fiber in it. It is just water and sugar and flavor. Fried foods and packaged foods, basically chips and salty chivdas, especially in Indian culture, try to avoid those things. They are not very good for the child and can cause a lot of nutritional and digestive problems. The next point that I want to come to is nutrition density of food. Now, a lot of children are not going to eat beyond a specific value or specific quantity of food. Instead of giving more volume of food, you can increase the density of calories or the density of energy in the amount of food the child is already having without it feeling heavier. This can be done by adding a few things to the meal such as jaggery, ghee, oils, there is something called as amylase rich food or amylase rich flour. This is something you can make at home. It's very simple. What it does is basically it reduces the thickness of the food, makes it easier to digest. So amylase is an enzyme produced by the body, or in the saliva mainly. It is a digestive enzyme. So when you give an amylase rich flour or add it to the food, it kind of starts digesting itself. So the child's body has to do lesser work. How to make amylase rich flour is basically you germinate or sprout cereals and pulses. Now these sprouted cereals and pulses, you can just dry them, powder them, and there it is. It's ready for you. You can put it in a jar, and whenever you're making, say, a bowl of khichdi, you can add a spoonful or 2 spoonfuls of the amylase rich flour to it, mix it properly. The amylase in that flour will start digesting the food. You'll see it becoming thinner and easier to digest visibly. Also, sometimes the food might need to be fortified, but this has to be assessed and decided by the pediatrician as to what needs to be added to the food. It cannot be done on your own, so preferably don't do that. Visit your pediatrician and see if your child really needs fortified food or not. So that was a gist of things that you need to know when it comes to complementary feeding for your child. So I repeat, if you have questions, send me an email, comment on this video, go to our Instagram, send me a DM over there. I'll try to and definitely will get back to all your queries. Do visit your pediatrician and make sure that your child is growing well, is following the curve and growth charts. If not, the pediatrician will guide you as to what is to be done. I know it can be a very difficult phase when you see that your child is not accepting food or something is changing. Anytime, change is not easy. But trust the process, give it time. The more you do it, the more the child will start accepting. Make it a happy process for the child. See, remember one thing, I tell my patients the same thing and I want to say it here as well. Food is supposed to be happy. Make sure it remains that way. Force feeding a child or restricting the child down and stuffing the child's mouth till the child is crying, running behind the child, or keeping erratic routines, it's just going to harm the child's development in the future and lead to bad habits in the future. I will stop here, and I hope you guys like this video and find it valuable. Do like the video, share it with your friends who maybe, if not you, maybe someone else needs this video. And I hope I am helping you guys out. Do let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next one. Be safe, be happy, be positive. Take care.